What are you doing?
What's up?
What are you doing?
I'm working on my packing tape skills.
Your packing tape skills.
Yeah, so I can be really handy with a tape gun.
For what?
Maybe you haven't heard about our new rewards over at patreon.com/Gamestitch.
Oh, I think you touched. I don't pay a lot of attention to you guys all the time. Why don't you tell me again?
So we have a new $5 tier over there, and we're sending out a personalized thank you. It could be anything from maybe a drawing that one of us did, and keep in mind none of us are artists. It could be a handcrafted airplane that we made. It could be a picture that we've taken, or maybe it's a snack. Maybe it's our favorite snack.
A snack?
That's right. We could send you anything. Think of it as a care package from us to you. Maybe like a loot crate, but personalized for you, and it only costs $5.
Like a $5 loot crate. That's a good idea.
Not only do you get access to this personalized crate every month that you donate at least $5, but you also get access to our subscriber-only Discord.
Ah, Discord. I love Discord. What's Discord again?
Discord's that handy little app that lets us chat with the community. We have an everyone channel that we'll be popping in and out of, but we have a subscriber-only channel that lets you really get involved with us and ask the questions that you really want to know the answer to, the nitty-gritty, some people say.
Ah, that's what we were on the other day then.
That's right. We're already on there. We're already chatting. And you can be a part of the subscriber-only portion of that. And you can ask those Gamestitch After Dark questions.
Ooh.
That you're all dying to know.
Ooh, yeah, the good stuff.
Check out this reward plus our new goals over at patreon.com/Gamestitch. Keep in mind, any money that you donate over there is going to help create new content, exciting content, and it may improve the podcast that you're about to listen to. This is how we grow the show. This is how we make it better, bigger. This podcast will always be free, but all the other things that we do, all the new shows, the new ideas, and let me tell you, Dan's got some ideas.
I got some amazing ones.
They take time and they take money, and this is an easy way for you guys to support us and also help us develop that new content for you.
That's right.
And keep it fun. Plus, you have a chance to get some badass drawings.
There's 4 things we want to be. We want to be bigger, better, faster, stronger. You remember that song?
I do remember that. Now I can do that for the rest of the day, and hopefully you can too. By heading over to patreon.com/Gamestitch. All you have to pledge is what you think we're worth. That could be anywhere from $1 to $3,000 to $1 million if you've got the money like that.
Ooh, that's my favorite tier.
And remember, you're directly impacting the future of Gamestitch. So we care about you, and we love your support. This is just one more avenue for you to help grow the content that we make. Now, if you don't have anything else, I need to go back to my packing tape and making sure that I'm ready for these packages.
I'm actually thinking I got to go find me some tape because I think I need to work on my skills as well.
It's not something you can just jump into. It's something that you really want to take some time. You want to make sure that your wrist is strong enough.
Oh, my wrist is strong enough.
All right, we'll head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch. Now it's time for the show. Welcome to episode 218 of the official Gamestitch Podcast, and today I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
In the house.
Also, I didn't give my name either.
Your name's Ryan Walton.
I'm a mystery guest. Off to a good start, though.
and our resident douchebag is not able to be on today.
Right. Probably not going to be happy when he hears that either.
Has happiness ever been my concern?
Matt is out this week. He's spending some time with his brother. Much needed time there, so they're hanging out and on a road trip. So we're holding down the fort.
Because that's what we do.
Yeah, we hold the fort down.
Down.
It's a weird expression.
Well, I don't understand the holding the fort down. I understand holding the fort.
Yeah.
I understand that because when you're being attacked, if you hold that fort, that is your
right. You're holding
place.
It down.
Right. Holding it down doesn't make sense.
It's like when someone's holding the couch down.
It's like holding someone's, like I'll hold someone's face down underwater.
No,
it's
I don't.
different than holding the fort down.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
It doesn't make sense. I'm just using it as an example.
Yeah,
it's not something I've actually ever done.
I think that's how you go to prison.
Sometimes you get medals that way.
I don't know anything about that either. I'm trying to think of a game where you drown somebody.
Probably the Punisher game. Don't you drown them in the fish tank?
Nobody played that but you. How would I know?
120 different ways to kill your adversaries.
I'm thinking Manhunt might have let you drown somebody.
The
thing I remember most about Manhunt is when you throw that plastic bag over their head.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Because it goes immediate close-up to the guy's face.
Where he's clawing at his neck, trying to get it.
Yep. And his eyes just keep bulging and bulging and bulging.
That game was intense, and that is one of the most intense ways to like get somebody. You'd whistle for them. They'd be like, "Oh, what was that? Let me go check it out." And walk over there right in front of you, and you just fucking stalk them, and you know you're about to get them.
The game kind of didn't make sense because that's the type of game when you know you're in the middle of a game where your goal is to kill or be killed. Stealth isn't really an option because if you hear somebody whistle, they probably have some plan to kill you.
But what if you're like, was that a bird? Or is that a human? Let me go investigate.
But if you know the rules of the game, it makes no sense to go investigate and see what it was.
They had to give you something.
I'm just saying, in the whole context, overall, it makes no sense.
Plus, if Billy Badass thought it didn't matter who was over there, he'd kill him anyways once he heard the whistle.
Yeah, I suppose.
But he didn't know that I had a pocket full of grocery bags. That I came to party.
You could fit a lot. You wear cargo pants, you're just fucking...
Well, yeah, because you can roll those bags up, and you could probably fit 100 of them in one pocket.
Yeah, if you put cargo shorts on, you're a fucking war machine.
Yeah, you can be ready to go as long as you're light-footed. Because you got to be able to sneak up. If you ever get them from the front, you're not putting a bag on someone's head.
No, you got to.
You'd reach and they'd smack your hands away. And they're like, "What are you doing?"
It probably wouldn't go down that nicely.
You just look at them and you go, "Nothing."
That seems awfully cordial for a murder game.
Not putting a bag on your head. I'll just be behind you. No worries.
Here, I'm giving you a bag.
Right. Then you kick them in the balls and you throw the bag over their head again.
That's right.
While they hold the other bag, and then when they're dead, you pick that bag back up.
How come whenever... You know what always blew my mind? Is like when you see someone like get plastic wrap on their face or a plastic bag over their face, why don't they ever just think to open their mouth and like just pop a hole with their fingers?
I think about that sometimes too, but I think you panic when it's happening.
Probably. I wouldn't.
But that's my move, is just to claw out the mouth hole.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's just a panic thing because you're like, oh no. Or maybe they're using real thick plastic and these people don't have fingernails.
Like weatherproofing plastic that you put.
Yeah, that's some real, like a tarp almost.
Because everybody carries that around. That's easily concealable. A huge roll of weatherproofing strip.
They're not using like a Walmart bag because you could just blow out real hard and it would bust a hole in that thing.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I don't know. I've never murdered anybody, so I don't know the rules. Maybe the going for the mouth isn't allowed when you get a bag on your head.
Maybe. If any of you out there have ever murdered somebody, first of all, just let us know on that.
Let us know on social media as @game_Stitch, and probably tag the police in that, so that we're in no way affiliated.
At 911, is that how that works?
I don't think so. Just at whatever city you're at, police probably. So like if you're in Miami, you'd be like at Miami-Dade Police probably. Something like that.
Maybe it's MDPD.
Yeah, I don't know. You could find them though, and you probably have already looked if you're in that situation,
right?
Just to make sure that there's no APB out there for you.
That's a shit game, by the way.
APB?
Yeah.
It was going to be the next Grand Theft Auto.
It was going to be. It was not.
I love those things that pop up. They're like the World of Warcraft killer and Final Fantasy killer, Grand Theft Auto killer. They're never that.
Like, wasn't Killzone supposed to be the Halo killer?
I don't know. Killzone, I would say, is a little different than those others that did find success. But anytime a game is a killer of another game, it's not. Usually it's just a shitty version
of that, a shitty knockoff.
Yeah, shitty knockoff of the same thing.
What is the fake, the Vietnamese version or whatever?
The fake purse of video games.
Yes.
You're like, this is close, but it's missing everything.
The cooch purse.
It makes it everything special. I think they still spell it coach. I think it's just cheap. Here's the thing: if you can't tell the difference, does it matter?
No,
because you're buying it for the name, right?
I know people all the time that go to buy knockoffs.
Yeah, because you're buying it for the name or the look.
Yeah.
No one's like, oh, I gotta buy them for the quality. No, because you could buy cheaper quality purses.
Yeah, there's no reason for.
Right, you're buying it because of the name, and that's fine. But let's call it a spade a spade.
Call it what it is.
Yeah, you're buying it for the name.
Let's not try to be fooling people here. We don't do that.
Yeah, but unlike with video games, third-party controllers suck.
A lot of them, yeah.
So I don't, like with PlayStation, I'm not buying a DualShock 4 for the name. I'm buying it because it doesn't suck. Because these other things don't live up to the standards.
I'll tell you what, the new ones feel really well put together.
Oh yeah, with the light bar across the top.
Yeah, they feel much more sturdy than the originals.
I think I've already talked about it, but I'm going to tell you again. The Pro Controller for the Wii U, for the Switch.
You love it.
Not the Wii U. It is one of the most substantial controllers I've held.
I know. You have. I
feels
haven't heard
so
the end of
good.
this, as a matter of fact.
It feels so
obviously.
Good. You're bragging about the PS4, but I'm telling you, this feels better than
I'm not bragging about it. I just said it's sturdier than the last version was.
So is this. This feels so good. I don't know that I like the layout better, but I like the construction of it. I feel like I could throw it out of the car, pull the car over, get it, and still use it.
You should try that. You should do some...
I can't. I won't be able to find another one.
Yeah, true. Actually, I was at a store the other day here, and there was like 6 of them.
Oh, really? Everything here is still sold out. And don't even get me started on trying to find an Amiibo right now.
Oh, yeah?
Anything that's Zelda Amiibo is not. So this is not a news story, but I want to talk about it. They sold like 1.6 million Nintendo Switches.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a fair amount for launch week. Here's the one that blows my mind, though. They sold 1.3 million copies of Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's some fucking attach rate right there.
Oh, yeah, that's... For a lot of people, that's the only reason to buy the Switch.
Right, so the problem is, though, that's 1.3 million people who are all trying to find all of the Zelda and Link and anything related Amiibo. Because they basically give you in-game perks you can use once every 24 hours, and as long as you have different Amiibo, you can use them as many times as you want. So, like, if you have three of the same one, you could use it 3 times in one day. It's not specific. It's specific to the Amiibo, not to the character.
Wow.
Right.
That's
so I saw
fucking Nintendo fucking smart there, because that way doubles don't matter.
Yeah. So I was at Best Buy looking for something I didn't have, and there were people in there in front of me that had a cart, and they had like 6 of the same one. And that's when I realized that Nintendo does get it. Like, they do understand.
They understand that they don't understand shit when it comes to their consoles. They understand the peripheries around that console. That's where people are going to fucking spend all their money.
So they made a really good console this time, but they still understand to not put everything in that. Not all their eggs are in that basket.
Right.
Like, the Amiibo is something that should have died. It should be dying off like Skylanders.
Skylanders and Infinity.
Lego Dimensions, Infinity. Well, Lego Dimensions, I guess, maybe the outlier there, and that it's still pretty successful. But you should see that taper off, but it's not. Like, people are on eBay right now paying $200 for an Amiibo that came out 2 years ago to use it for this fucking game.
Yeah.
Like, Nintendo just somehow creates this ecosystem that people can't get enough of.
Yeah, it's called not producing enough.
Yeah, but, like... So the one that everybody's trying to find, I remember Walmart trying to push this thing for like $4 just to get the fuck off the shelf.
Really?
Yeah, because it came out in 2014. Like, it's old. But people now that didn't get it need it. It gives you you have the chance to get the best perk in the whole game off of it.
Which game?
Zelda. You could get Breath of the Wild. You can get a horse off there that you can't get any other way. Well, you can't go buy this Amiibo anywhere. They're not making it again.
Ah.
So then everybody says, well, I better buy all the ones they are making now because eventually they're not going to make those anymore either.
Right.
And then I better buy 3 and 4 of them because I can use 3 and 4 of them.
In a day.
And oh, by the way, these are $15 each.
As opposed to $200?
Yeah, but like the people are spending $200 to buy the ones that are out. Like people are spending crazy money.
There's no reason for that.
I mean, I bought one.
For $200?
No. I bought.
No.
There's like 10 that work with the game.
No, like $15. I got no 15, 20, 25. I got no problem with that. 200? Yeah. Fuck all that shit.
I bought one, and then I had 3 of the older ones that work with it already. So then I was like, do I want to open the packages?
Of course, I shouldn't talk
Amiibo.
shit. I shouldn't talk shit because there's stuff that I'll spend stupid amounts of money on that I'm sure people think are dumb. So I take it all back. Spend as much money as you want to on whatever bullshit you want to. Because I spend my money on my bullshit.
What I like about the Amiibo is it serves a couple different purposes. You can set it on a shelf and it looks great. But it also interacts with, most of them interact with several games also. So, I can take my Mario and I can use it on like 30 different games.
Right.
Like, I think that's neat the way that they have integrated that into their entire system. And it also just looks good on a shelf, like any other statue or figure that you would buy. So, $15 doesn't bother me if it's something I can display, something I can use, something I'll be able to use in the future. It's the same thing as buying a peripheral, a controller, anything. Like
I'll spend $15 on a good meal, and that immediately gets transformed into shit. So,
right,
I get it.
Yeah,
there's nothing lasting there.
I like what they do there, and I think they put themselves in a very good position by right up front saying, "Hey, we're going to use Amiibo because we're taking advantage on our biggest launch game out there."
I just spent $60 on a very specific loot crate, so
and it won't have anything for the game in there. Like, it won't have DLC. It won't have in-game. It'll have something you could probably display.
Oh yeah, it'll have a bunch of stuff I can display or wear. Or it might have one DLC. I don't remember if it does or not.
I just think I think Amiibo are a unique way to sell DLC. Because you pay once, but you use it multiple times. Like, I've used this every day since I've had Zelda. I've used the Amiibo that I bought the same day. I've used it once every day since I've had it.
Well, I think it's also I know I've talked a lot about how Nintendo is always seen as more of the young, immature console. Amiibos play right into that. They're perfect for Nintendo. Nintendo has those characters, and people already feel that way about Nintendo, where the Amiibos make sense.
The weird part about that, though, is I don't see any kids ever buying them. I only ever see adults buying them.
Well, yeah, but you know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, like when my old ass goes in there to look at them, it's just other old dudes in there looking at them too. Like, it's just people like me buying them.
Y'all got
like, that's the weird
fingers.
part. Yeah, I don't see kids buying them at all.
I'm sure some parents buy them for their kids. I mean,
probably, but usually it's just people like me in there. And that's where I think they're really smart. It'd be no different like buying Mass Effect, figures and all the action figures and stuff that you have for that. Like, it's no different.
Right.
Only these also work for the game. Like, I would buy some of these if they didn't do anything in the game, because I think they're cool looking. Like, I would have bought Toad no matter what. Toad's my dude.
You're a Toad fan.
Yeah, so the idea that it will also expand on something that I'm already going to own also, like, I just think they're really smart with it. And it'll be interesting to see
what happens.
Right now it's all, supplemental, and you don't have to get them. It'll be interesting to see if they ever make the turn where, and Zelda might be the first one that's the closest example. The speedrun times for if you have Amiibo and if you don't are totally different. So they can actually, instead of enhancing your experience, they completely modify your experience. It can. Yeah, there are some. That older one, that 2014, that Smash Brothers Link that gets you the horse, can totally alter that game. I think that's why they don't sell it again, though. I think that's why they didn't come back out with it.
Right.
It is for people who embraced Amiibo back in the day.
Do you have that one?
I don't. Pretty tore up about it too. If you want to really talk about it. So I thought that I had it. I bought Sheik, Ganondorf, whatever the fuck his name is. Obviously not a Zelda guy. Please don't write in.
Ganon and Ganondorf, I think, are two different characters.
Yeah, but I don't know which one it is.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. I think it's one of those. So, the bad guy. I bought Zelda, Sheik, and him. I also have Toon Link from the Wind Waker for Smash Brothers. And then I bought the Zelda that's on horseback for Breath of the Wild. So, I have 4 of them that work. I've only opened the Breath of the Wild one and Ganon, or Ganondorf. I think it's Ganon. Ganondorf might be from Lord of the Rings. I don't know.
No, Ganondorf is from Zelda as well.
What's Ganon?
Ganon is one and Ganondorf is another. He
They're
morphs
both in
into
the
a
game?
different character.
Okay.
So technically they're the same, but they're actually different.
I think I have Ganondorf. He's this fucked up old looking dude. Anyways, I've used those 2 now, and I want to open the other ones. I just can't decide what to do. Like I use them, which is what I bought them for, but I also kill the collectability.
Right.
So it's like half the value's gone if I open them. But then
you're
I'm
never
like, am I
going to
ever
sell
gonna...
it anyway.
Right, but it looks cooler in the package.
I understand that too.
So that's where it's tough. Whereas if it was just a statue, I would leave it in the package. But because they have multiple uses, I'm like, kind of want to open them. But then what happens when I'm not playing Zelda anymore and I kill the value on all these characters? So,
yeah,
the struggle's real with Amiibo.
Sounds like it. Tough
The
life here to
struggle.
live in.
Yeah, it really is a lot of first world problems when it comes to Amiibo and how to use them. And I think the answer, if you're Nintendo, is just buy multiples.
Buy a bunch.
Buy a lot, yeah.
Buy
Keep some
6.
sealed.
Buy 6 of each.
You can use them. Why not buy them?
Right.
That's pretty much what my whole week has been like. I've been to every store everywhere trying to find more
Amiibo?
I want to give them my money, and they're not letting me. So very Nintendo. I went to a store, and an associate came up to me, and he said, "Can I help you find anything?" And I said, "No. Do you have any?" I didn't say no. I said, "Do you happen to have any different Amiibo in the back or anything? Or do you know when you're going to get restocked?" And the guy said, "Well, let me go through my Nintendo's spiel for you. We don't have any Zeldas. We don't have any Breath of the Wild Amiibo. We don't know when we're going to get any. We don't have any NES Classics, and we don't have any Switches, and we have no return date for either of those." I was like, okay, then.
I'm out.
Yep. But I mean, that's
Point me
how
to the
bad it
exit.
is. That's how bad it is for Nintendo. I mean, on purpose, but that's what they do. In that this guy just has a speech that has every product people are looking for in it. That he
Right.
can just run through with everybody that's standing in that aisle. Like, if you're here for X, Y, and Z, not going to happen. Please hit the door. We don't know when we're going to get more back in. If we do, you probably won't be the person that gets them. Thanks. Like it's, but they do it product after product, and people don't. People allow it.
People let it happen. Yeah.
I don't blame them.
People let it happen.
I don't blame Nintendo for it. It's smart, and if people keep accepting it, then why wouldn't you keep doing it? But it's shitty.
Yeah, it sucks if you really want that stuff. It really does.
Yeah.
The problem is that by not being able to get it, you want it more. So
yeah, that's the beauty of
it.
it.
Nintendo just fucking dick punching you over and over again.
It has to be good if you can't go buy it. Why else would it be sold out everywhere if it wasn't good?
If it wasn't amazing.
Right.
Right.
And
I get it.
There are very few companies, I feel like, that make something that is in such high demand that can get away with something like that. Like if Ford just started making a new car and you couldn't get one, people would be like, fuck it, I'll just get a different car.
Yeah.
But like you can't just go get another NES Classic. Like you need that one. Or another Switch. Like there's nothing like what they make, and it's such a specialized thing. Like I still know people who are looking for the NES Classic, and that thing came out in like October.
Yeah.
Like they still wanted one. And obviously he gets asked enough at Best Buy where I was at to feel like he needs to tell people like, not gonna happen, big guy. You're better off to go on Craigslist, buy an original, and then assemble the games that you want to play.
That's what I have.
Yeah, you're not going to find a classic anyways. Yeah, I have Top Loader NES. It's the best thing in the world. Everything plays. No blowing.
I have the old school.
No dick punching. I mean, I have those too, but that Top Loader makes life better.
It does make life better.
Plus, it has that badass dog bone controller that feels really good in your hands.
But it doesn't, give you blisters. And
it doesn't
fucking
wear those permanent grooves in your hands from the corners of that fucking rectangle. In case you didn't know, this is the official Gamestitch podcast you've been listening to for 20 minutes. And it'd be weird for you not to know that, but in case you just stumbled upon this and you're like, where am I? What is this? That's what this is.
And then found out you loved it and waited to find out what it is. Here we go.
Every week. Usually there's 3 of us. This week there's 2 of us. We get together. We talk all about video games and the things that surround the world of video games, and we wrap it up in the dumpster fire that is this show. If you want to support this show, head over to patreon.com/GameStitch. Lots of rewards. We just talked about the new stuff going on over there. Lots of goals. Check it out. I think there's some neat stuff on there, and that allows us to make the content better, and it also is going to give us the option to do some new stuff in the future. And we're really excited about the opportunities over there. This podcast will always be free, but that support from you lets us do new and exciting things. So how are you?
I'm fucking great.
Superb.
After listening to fucking 20 minutes of Amiibos,
well,
my life can't get any better.
Because I somewhat know how the show's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's coming, and I know that you're not going to get a lot of me. So I picked a category up front that I could speak about that you would get none of you.
Uh-huh. Right.
So I
preemptive attack, right?
Yeah, the balance that we have right now is going to be pretty good. And it's going to make a lot of sense because you got a chance to play a little game called Mass Effect Andromeda.
I did. EA Access.
So explain the EA Access and what that let you do here.
EA Access is EA's streaming service, essentially. You can play games, download games through them. It is available on PC and the Xbox One. In this case, what it allowed me to do was play a 10-hour trial of Mass Effect Andromeda early. So I got to play it 5 days early. I started playing it on the 16th and have been playing it ever since, waiting for the release this Tuesday on the 21st.
When you say trial, it is important to note that your progress does move forward.
Yes, it is going to. All your progress does move forward. Everything that you do in this trial, if you pre-order the game digitally, no, I don't think that's true. I think it carries over regardless.
It carries over regardless.
Yeah, it carries over regardless. Everything you do is going to carry over. You're more than welcome to start a new game on the 21st, or you can carry over from the progress you've already started. So yeah, I got to play. I actually am not done with my 10-hour trial yet, which I feel like is a mistake on EA's part because I really feel like I've played more than 10 hours.
This was the biggest surprise this morning when you told me you weren't finished with your 10-hour trial, because I was absolutely certain you would be finished at this point.
I've been playing this shit out of it since Wednesday night, Thursday. Yeah, one of those. And I am still playing it. So I'm wondering if they call it a 10-hour trial, but there's also a capped end to the trial. You can only progress so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if that's an either or. Like, I wonder. I guess what I'm saying is I wonder if that's the real end of the trial, is when you can't progress any further. Their assumption is that it's going to take you 10 hours to do it, or don't. But I honestly don't know. All I can tell you is that I am pretty sure that I have been playing it for more than 10 hours, and I am still playing it.
I mean, that's weird, but
it's not bad.
Right.
I'll take weird.
If it works.
I'll take weird. I'm good with weird, especially when it works. Weird doesn't usually work out in my favor like this.
Yeah, usually it's like you played for 5 hours, now we're going to cut you off. You're like, wait, but
right.
I wasn't finished.
Right.
I'm supposed to get 10 hours.
It's like the time jump ahead.
Right. Yeah,
Oh,
they
you play
like
for
savings.
2 hours? Sorry, we think it's 10. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's how it usually works for me. So, but I actually have heard some different things about some different glitches occurring where people are being able to play more than 10 hours. Or a glitch, a bug, overlook, whatever it is. So I'm not the only one, it seems, that is having this issue, if you want to call it an issue. I don't.
So let's start with the positive.
Sure.
And just your reaction to starting. I mean, so for anyone, if this is your first episode, this is his favorite franchise. Huge fan. Loves everything Mass Effect. So you're obviously starting with a level of excitement that people new to the franchise may not have. So keep that in mind when he talks about it. I mean, this is me talking about Little Big Planet or something. Matt talking about Metal Gear. I mean, these are games that we love.
This is my baby.
Right. So do what you want with that, but just talk about the emotions as you start this thing up.
Well, my heart when the first title screen came up, but I haven't even pressed start yet to get to the menu to what I want to do. And I'm like, oh yeah. I was about to lose it. I almost had to go take a cold shower first. My level, it was real. When I saw that title screen, it was real. I get to play this now. Let me tell you, the first thing I'm going to tell you is Mass Effect Andromeda, in general, looks gorgeous. The environments are beautiful. The planet, the galaxy map is fucking amazing. The way they've got it laid out, and you can see the different black holes. It actually looks like almost like a 3D topographical map of the galaxy. The way it's set up, it just looks fucking gorgeous. So he says we're concentrating on the positives for now, right? Right.
Yeah, let's just...
Okay. If you're familiar with the Mass Effect franchise, you're going to find it very familiar with some very cool tweaks. The combat's very familiar. The conversation is very familiar, even though they have changed the Paragon Renegade setup. You're going to find that it's all very familiar to you. It's comfortable. You're immediately going to recognize this as the Mass Effect franchise, as that universe. They harken back to some of the mythology, which are nice. So as far as some of the tweaks go, they are welcome additions. The jetpack is cool. The hover is cool. The quick dodge with the jetpack is very, very cool. It really adds a much different element to combat as far as the verticality of it. It just gives you some more options to make combat what you want and really need it to be. You're going to recognize a lot of the characterizations of the different aliens. It feels very familiar while strange at the same time. One thing you will notice, it doesn't matter which Mass Effect fan you talk to, they are all going to have a different game that's their favorite in the franchise. Some love 3, some love 1, some love 2. Some can't go back and play 1 for this reason. Some hate this character in 2. I think what you're going to find with Mass Effect Andromeda is that it really does harken back to the roots of the series. It brings a lot of the RPG-style elements back as far as the crafting and the piecemeal of your armor. It brings a lot of that back. It relies much more heavily on the RPG aspect and the combat aspect, much like Mass Effect 1, whereas 2 and 3 kind of got away from that and kind of went a little bit more, leaned on the action side of the action RPG. I personally find it a welcome addition because I like that kind of depth in my RPGs. But I can see that how some people will be while it won't be a huge turnoff, it's not going to be something that they might want to spend the time on.
So you would say it's closer to 1 than it is to 3 in the 10 hours that you've played.
In that RPG style aspect, yes. The combat, however, is much more fast and fluid, which is one of the biggest things that you got out of 2 and 3. So it does still maintain that heavy action aspect that 2 and 3 brought, but it brings back the RPG elements that were so prevalent in Mass Effect 1 and not so much anymore in 2 and 3.
Right.
Which, like I said, overall, I'm having a great time with it. I'm loving it. But this is my baby.
So okay, now let's talk about some of the negatives that are out there.
Some of the negatives.
Obviously, unless you've lived under a rock, you have seen all the animation issues that people are encountering, and I don't know if this is. You can probably speak to this. I don't know if it's affecting everyone, or if there are only certain people. It seems like something that's affecting everyone.
There are some issues with some of the animations. Some of the animations are not as good as others. Some of the character models look better than others. The lip syncing isn't perfect.
So yeah, I gotta explain what the animation problems are. So Horizon is not perfect when it comes to animations.
No, it's not. And as far as the actual animations, the movements go, I haven't really seen too much of an issue. You're going to recognize it as a BioWare game. The people have that weird run where they run funny. If it's something new, it might be a little jarring. If it's something you're familiar with, if you've ever played a BioWare game, it's not going to be that weird.
The thing that people are focused on is the animation when the dialogue options, right? Is that where...
It's one character specifically that is very bad that seems to be the big focus, and that's a character named Addison in the movie, Director Addison, or in the game. And, yeah, her animation is not great. I will give you that. She's just got this wide-eyed stare, and she never blinks. And her eyes are huge. It's weird. It is. And I've noticed some moments where the hands on the characters are weird, like when they're walking, and it almost looks like it's not, you know how you just kind of swing your arms. Well, this just looks like almost two fins with lines drawn on them when they're walking in one of the animations. Mostly cutscenes where I've seen these issues. It's important, but it never took. They were things I noticed. Unfortunately, part of it was that they were things I was looking for because of everything that I'd heard. I don't know that they... Well, I take it back. Director Addison would have been very prevalent. That one you can't walk away from because it's just right there in your face. Just this...
You got to blink.
Just this big, goofy clay head just looking at you. But some of those problems I may not have noticed. And I can tell you this, is even though I did notice them, they don't take me out of the game personally. I'm not a graphics whore. I don't think that a game has to look fabulous to be a wonderful game. I understand why some people might have issues. But then you've got other characters that have very expressive facial animations. They're blinking on a consistent basis. They're looking around, and you can catch the little hints of the smirk, so you can tell if someone's joking or not. Similar to L.A. Noire. So you do get some of that. I think when you take on a game of this scale, I don't know that you can expect perfection everywhere. And I can tell you that this game is huge. Even though I'm not all the way in, I can tell just from the little bit that I've played that this game is going to be giant. And you need to be careful about some of the criticisms because it depends on what you're looking for out of the game. BioWare has always been known as a storyteller. They've never really been known with amazing, graphics. Decent graphics. Nothing's going to blow your face off. Similar to Bethesda. People love Bethesda games. Some of the graphics are pretty shit, and people still love them for the same reasons. So, yes, there are some issues. They are not going to be fixed on day one. The entirety of the game is not an issue. It's going to be bits and pieces here, piecemeal. I don't know that it draws away from the experience as much as it's just a noticeable flaw.
Right.
Oh, I thought you had another question.
No, just right. That's all I was going to say.
You're right. Another question.
So it's hard. I've never played a Mass Effect, so it's hard for me to know, I guess, whether or not these things are how impacting they are, or how much people are just looking to complain. And certainly it's different for every person. Also, Matt's talked about the animations in Horizon or something that he gets hung up on. There's something I don't even notice.
Right.
So, and these sound like they maybe are a little more offensive than those, but still, I don't know in a game of that scope if it matters.
And to me, it doesn't. And what I have noticed, I'm part of a number of different Mass Effect fan groups. And if you have read any of the reviews, what most of them are going to say is people who really aren't into the franchise are all over this issue. People that do love this franchise are pretty consistent across the fact that, yeah, these issues happen, but I love this franchise and this game is, and I have fun with this game. So I think that's kind of be the defining line. And in a lot of the groups that I'm in, people are like, you know what, I don't have a problem with any of this. I'm loving playing Mass Effect again.
Yeah, I will say they shouldn't, just like the same thing that we harp on Fallout, they don't get a free pass because they're BioWare. You just like Bethesda doesn't get one for always making a janky Fallout, and there it is something that needs to be addressed, but I don't know that it warrants the hate that it's getting necessarily. But
well, I think that's an important note too. There has not been any talk of any bugs or glitches. This is just animations.
Yeah, but still,
that we're talking about.
There's no way that no one there was like, "Hey, this is kind of fucked up looking." Like, there's no way that didn't happen by your description of these. It sounds like you're going to be like, "Yeah, something's weird here."
Yeah, yeah, I understand that, and I'm not sure they deserve a pass. But I think the game is playable. I haven't run into a single bug that I've played, whether it was a multiplayer or the single player. Unfortunately, I think in today's day and age, that's pretty commendable in itself. If your biggest complaint is some weird eyes, you might be in a good place.
Some weird fucked up eyes. I agree that if it's not Drive Club or Arkham Knight on the PC, it's not unplayable. It's not all of the Assassin's Creed unities, it's not. But they got a lot of flack too for their eyeballs being outside of their face and their just teeth, fucking out of their forehead, and like they had some shit happening over there too.
Yeah.
I think it's something that's worth talking about. I think you're probably right in that if the animation is the biggest hang up, the game's probably doing okay.
Well, I think even though BioWare and EA tried to stay away from the hype train, there was no way this game wasn't going to get hyped. The problem is when you're into that kind of hype, you've got expectations. And when expectations don't met, especially in today's world, if something doesn't meet your expectation, that automatically makes it shit.
Right.
And I completely disagree with that statement. That's not how the world works. So all you fucktards that think that way,
oh shit,
suck dicks.
Wow.
Yeah, it just pisses me off.
It's also you're real close to it, in this particular situation.
Yeah, but I feel that way about a lot of. I feel that way about that attitude in general.
Right, you shit on the Amiibo the same way though.
Like I did not shit on the Amiibo.
Yeah, you did.
I said I get it. If it was Mass Effect, I would do it.
People couldn't see Dan's face, but he was dismissive when I called them collectibles.
I wasn't. You are making.
You had a look. You had a look like.
I did not have. I had no look. I completely
like these
understand
are
that they're collectibles.
Collectibles. That was your face. If they had a Mass Effect line, you'd spend all your money on them.
I'm not putting up with this. I'll leave. I'm gone. I'm out.
I do think though that when you're close to something, it is harder. But I think this attitude in general is pretty widespread when it comes to video games, that people automatically dismiss something they're not interested in for its flaws, and it sucks because some people only base their purchase. Not everybody is educated when it comes to games, and not everybody is informed. And so when they read those clickbaity headlines like the new Mass Effect is broken, they just don't buy the game. Right. And I think that's really unfortunate. Or, when somebody classifies, Amiibo as a $15 piece of plastic, it's okay, let's be real with what it is. It's more than that.
Right.
That's what it's made out of. But
I have many $15 pieces of plastic. I understand.
Well, but it's not just that. Like it opens up so many different things. Like, let's talk about what it is, and then if you still feel like it's a piece of plastic, that's fine.
Right. No, I completely understand.
But so many of those clickbaity headlines. That's what everybody wants, right? They want the click. Games media as we know it is on the decline, and I think influencers and entertainers are on the increase, and because of that, media grasps for anything they can get, and a lot of times the easiest way to do that is to shit on something. If they said, "Hey, the new Mass Effect is great," exactly 0 people are going to read that. Because that's not exciting.
Right, yeah. There is nothing clickbaity about that. There is nothing intriguing or
even if they say, hey, the new Mass Effect is great, but it's got some issues, nobody's reading that.
No.
But if you can say Mass Effect Andromeda is broken, well, I have to know what's going on.
Exactly. And it's a problem in everything today, not just video games. We're seeing it everywhere. It's... rational thinking, reasonable discourse, and simple research are no longer a requirement to fashion a belief. Now, basically, all you have to do is find somebody who thinks the same way you do. And that's what constitutes your ideology. But
usually that's all it is. Like when you see these super negative things, it's usually like it'll have like 2 retweets. It's just the 2 people who feel that way going back and forth about it.
Right.
But unfortunately, because big companies feel the need to respond, that gives more weight to the situation. And Mass Effect did respond on this. EA did respond and said, hey, this is not something that's going to be fixed on day one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that ship's already sailed. The game that you're playing on EA Access has the day one patch. So what you're playing is what people will get the day that they buy that game and put it in.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have to say that. They shouldn't have to say anything. They've probably made a really great game.
Right.
And one clay-faced, dead-eyed motherfucker shouldn't ruin it for everybody. But, I also agree with the criticism in that it should be said. You should say, hey,
it needs to be put out. I completely agree that information needs to be out there. But you can't... It's kind of like if you take the whole of the United States and then you go, what? You're like, what? All of America sucks because I went to Boise, Idaho once.
Right. Which we can all agree sucks. Sorry, Boise. Sorry, Boise. But
it's kind of that. It's kind of that mentality. That's what we see. Oh, this has this one thing wrong with it. The whole thing's shit. Oh. Really? Because that was like 14 seconds out of a 120-hour experience.
But that allows you to write a headline like "America sucks."
Right.
Versus Boise sucks.
That's another good point to bring up. All these articles that do talk about how the game looks or these animation problems, they have a screenshot to go with it. So yeah, you're going to focus on that screenshot. I liken it back to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, my parents didn't care what horror movies I watched. They didn't care what movies. I was a movie nerd, and I liked movies, and I never acted an asshole because I watched a movie. So they never had a problem with it. So I would watch horror movies. I would watch Nightmare on Elm Street. I would watch whatever. The Hunger, The Howling. I watched all of them. And but they would never let me have the Fangoria magazines. And in retrospect, I understand why. It's one thing to watch entrails flash out of somebody's stomach real quick on the screen and then move on to the next scene. But when you're sitting there and you're just looking at a picture of it, it completely changes the context of what you're looking at. All you're looking at is entrails hanging out of someone's stomach. There is no context for it like in a movie. There is nothing to move on to except for the next picture of entrails. So a still image is not a fair representation of the quick flash of some bad animation you might get in a game.
Right, but that's why they do it, though. They do it because that's when you look at it and go, oh, wow, it's broken. Same thing they did with Assassin's Creed.
As soon as you see that one picture, oh, shit.
I can't tell you how many Assassin's Creed I saw where those
it was
teeth
just
are
that
all
one
fucking
with
out.
the eyes and the teeth.
Yeah. You're
just,
like, whoa.
There's a big hole in the guy's face with just the eyes and the teeth.
Yeah, but you were instantly like, whoa, this is fucked up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening here, but it's just fucked up.
There's nothing that bad in this game.
So leave us with this. 10 hours in. Are you happy with it?
I'm very happy with it. I cannot wait. Another thing I do want to point out, there's been a lot of complaints too about how the story's slow and you don't feel for the characters right away. There's nothing for you to latch on to. Think back to Mass Effect 1. That was pretty much the same thing. It was very linear to start with until you started to develop your squad and learn more about your character and this and that, the other thing. You've got to a lot of people are used to already having played the trilogy. So there's certain expectation that's going along with that. This is a whole new trilogy. This is a whole new story that needs to start somewhere. And I think as I found so far, as I continue more and more in, I can see the complaint how, it starts off, I don't really care, I don't know any of these characters, well, that's every fucking video game you've ever played.
Right.
You don't know the characters, and this, that, the other thing.
You think because people are so invested in the other three, though, it's hard for them to let go?
Oh, I very much believe that.
Yeah.
I very much believe that. A lot of people, there are people that there are so many people, I should say, that love the characters that came out of the first three games. They love Garrus, they love Tali, they love Liara T'Soni. But those characters, Liara T'Soni, was one of my favorite characters in the game, or in the series. But when you first meet her, she's boring as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I never took her with me as one of my crewmates because she was so fucking boring. I never went and talked to her because she was boring. There was nothing exciting about her at all. As the games grew on and she developed as a character, she became one of my favorite characters over time. And I think that's what you need to remember is this is a brand new page one to a brand new story. These are not characters you're going to know. You need to find, there's going to be new characters that you love.
Right. I just, with this being a franchise that people have put so much time into, that is obviously something that's going to take more time.
Oh, yeah. And there's already been a number of nods to the first series. Or
right.
To the first three games. So it doesn't forget about that. And it makes you understand, it helps you to understand that, yeah, this is part of the same universe. And I like the characters in Mass Effect 2, but what I always liked was the mythology and the lore behind all of it. So I'm probably in the minority there. But
right.
I'm super excited to play Andromeda because I want to learn more about the universe.
Right. Check it out for yourself. It launches tomorrow, March 21st, depending on when you're listening to this.
Yep.
Probably going to sell gangbusters.
Well, I know they got a shit ton of money for me.
Right.
I got the Super Deluxe Edition coming. I got the Collector's Edition. fucking guidebook. That special loot crate I was talking about, that's an Andromeda loot crate.
Yeah, I assume so. I'll tell you, I was at Best Buy whenever looking for those Amiibo, and they had the collector's edition for Zelda, the strategy guide.
Uh-huh.
And I almost got it just because it looks so fucking cool. I don't even want it or need it. Like, I just want to play that game really organic, but it's fucking cool looking.
I've got all the collector's edition guides for all the Mass Effect, so I had to get this one too.
Right. Had to. I got you. I get it.
I had to.
Didn't have any choice.
And they didn't have a collector's edition physical copy art. I got that too. That's
weird that they didn't. It's also weird to me that you got it digital and you didn't want that physical copy for the shelf.
I'll wait till it goes cheap and buy it.
Yeah.
But now because I still got $100 edition.
Right. But the idea that it's on your shelf, you can play it after everything goes to shit and the apocalypse happens, you can still play it.
Well, as long as my Xbox makes it.
Yeah, it'll make it.
But yeah, I had to re-up my Live. I had to go get a headset that I didn't have a headset for my Xbox One. I've just spent crazy amounts of money because of this game. I'm sure my wife is ready to stab me right in the temple with a fork.
Well, just explain to her that you have to.
Uh-huh. I did. She didn't feel the same way, but it's okay.
I don't have Live. I don't have a mic either for my Xbox. I'm really holding out, I think, for Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves?
I just have to convince someone else to buy that game with me.
I'll get it. I told you I'd get it.
So if you get it, our buddy Garrett gets it. Garrett, you're probably not into it, but you should be into it. If the three of us get it and we're pirates on the open sea, it sounds fantastic.
Do we get to be pirates on the same ship?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in. I'm all in.
Yeah, you're going to search for like booty. Like all you do is go around and like find shit. You're just adventurers together. Like you all get on the ship. You all have different jobs. You all have to like coordinate. Yeah, it sounds fucking great.
Yeah, I'm all in.
And it's made by Rare, so you know it's going to be like fun and kind of quirky and
weird and
yeah, it looks awesome. I can't wait to play it, and I hope that I have somebody to play with. But I'm going to have to get Live before then. I'm going to have to get a decent mic before then because I think I've got like a shitty plug-in one that everybody's going to be like, "What? You sound like you're in a garbage can."
Well, that's all I have, but I think mine will be fine. I got the cheap, like the $30 Turtle Beach one. I don't even have anything that good though.
I
think I'll be okay.
But yeah, as far shitty one that mine came with.
Oh,
yeah, it's not.
But yes, see, it's funny. I need to tell a secret here. I hope she's not listening. See, I was smart though because I knew this was coming up. So like, she was like, I kind of want to get this. Okay. And I get it for her, and she's like, I want to go to this. Okay. Yeah. Sure, go to that party and buy stuff. Sure. So now she can't really say much because she'll be like, oh, well, you spent, and I'll be like, okay, well, you just spent fucking $100 on leggings or tights, whatever the fuck they are. I don't know, fucking LuLaRoe stuff. Whatever. It's a thing.
Right.
So yeah,
yeah.
Oh yeah. I had a whole.
Right. I should be able to spell 200 because you spent 400. When if you'd have just spent 200, it would have been too much.
Right.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. No, I've been working this angle for like months.
Yeah. Let's hope that she never listens to this, because then it won't work in the future. But you're probably safe. We would have lost her with all the Amiibo talk, even if she had jumped on.
Yeah, she wouldn't. Yeah, she wouldn't have got this far. She would have never made it this far.
She would have said, "What's an Amiibo, and how do I stop this podcast from playing?" And so you're probably safe on that.
What are we listening to? I can hear it now.
Yeah. What's an Amiibo? Which may be the reaction that some people that listen every week just had.
And then I would start to explain it to her, and she'd be like, "You know what? I don't even care."
Yeah. That's how I feel about anyone who says that to me when they say, "What's an Amiibo?" I'm like, you know, it's a thing. You don't need to know about it because I'll explain it. You won't care, and we still won't know. You still won't know what it is when I finish talking. So it's easier if you just know it's a stupid thing that I want and you'll never need.
Yep. It's perfect.
Yeah. So let's move on to some headlines. NPD released its data for February, and they listed the top 10 best-selling games for the month. Keep in mind, this covers... It ends on February 25th, so that means Horizon is not included in these numbers, if you're wondering why it's absent.
Pretty sure that probably would have been at the top.
So, with the exception of the number one game, this is a list of usual suspects. It's a pretty boring list on this. Number one was For Honor, which I thought was surprising. Just because I'm not sure how that game is doing. Number 2 was Resident Evil 7. Number 3 was Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 4 was NBA 2K17. Number 5 was Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Number 6 was Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege.
That one is pretty mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Because that's over a year old.
Let me finish this and I'll go back to that because I got some thoughts on that one too.
Okay.
Number 7, Madden NFL. 17, number 8, Battlefield 1. Number 9, Neo. And 10, Overwatch. It's important to remember that Neo and Overwatch do not have any digital sales included. So, Rainbow Six Siege is doing the same thing that Division did, but with even less of a initial community.
Right.
That game went out there and totally died. Rainbow Six Siege came out and died.
Yep.
And Ubisoft refused to give up on it. They did free weekends. They lowered the price. They put it on sale. They said they were going to support it with DLC for another year. And now this game has built this... It's not even a cult following. It's so big now. Like, they've built a legitimate community around this game.
Yeah.
And I kind of respect the shit out of what they're doing because it's the same thing they did with Division. They refused to give up on it.
Yeah, it's funny. I think it was probably about a month ago we talked about the hostile takeover that's Ubisoft is trying to avoid. It's amazing how the threat of destruction has changed their business plan and their game plan in such a positive way that they are doing such amazing things for these games to grow them as a community. It's almost like a survival tactic. It's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like, they pushed off the Assassin's Creed every year and said we need a time to make a really good game. What you expect out of us? They're having these other games come out and they're just not giving up on them. And
they're they're almost making themselves too big to take over is almost like what their mentality is.
Like the idea that, okay, no one bought it, but Siege is a good game. Right. And we're going to wait till people figure out it's a good game. Like that, there's such balls there because if you mess that up, you've invested more money in a game that's failing.
Yeah, but they're moving along nicely.
Yeah, they believe in the products they're making and they stand beside them, and I think it's pretty refreshing because a lot of people would give up when it comes out and it doesn't succeed.
Yeah, they need that immediate results, the immediate satisfaction.
The struggle with a game like Evolve.
Yeah.
Like that game has just been a downward spiral since it launched.
And they've tried some similar things.
They're fucking giving it away. It's free to play now, and they still can't get any traction. Like, the Ubisoft does something really unique in the way that they support these games, and I think it's really cool. And I think that they're going to keep doing it, and Wildlands may be the next... It may be the next game that you see get this treatment, and that it's coming out. It's getting some kind of mixed reviews, but if they support it and they continue and they don't let it die, it could be the game that in a year from now everybody's still talking about.
Right.
It's kind of neat. But yeah, so looking at that list, there's maybe that one and definitely For Honor, but there's not a whole lot going on there that's different. BlizzCon tickets are going on sale soon. Blizzard has announced there'll be 2 waves of tickets. They're both $200, and they're both going to go on sale in April. So if you're looking for that, get your wallets open, get your eyes ready, get your clicking fingers strong.
Yep, pay attention.
Yeah, because gonna go quick.
It's getting ready to go on.
Getting ready to go down. We talked about the availability issues of the Nintendo Switch earlier, but it appears that GameStop is planning on having some more units as soon as Wednesday, March 22nd. It's a very generic statement that they made, and it's like some stores will have some.
Yep. Call first.
Right, yeah. Probably don't bank on getting one, but you might. They said check the stores first for availability. So you're talking limited quantities again, but it does seem like there is a new shipment coming. I know places have restocked. I know the Toys R Us here in town has had several shipments already.
Mm-hmm.
They're gone as soon as it happens.
And I know that Nintendo actually did up production, so
I think they doubled production.
Yeah.
Like it seems like they're genuinely trying to meet the needs this time.
Yep.
But it just outperformed even what they thought it was going to do. They hoped to sell 2 million units in the first month. They did, almost that in the first fucking week. Like people are responding well to the Switch, and a lot of that is how well Zelda's reviewing and how well the console itself is reviewing. It's a lot of positive buzz around the Switch.
Well, I like to think it's all because of our podcast. You and Matt saying such wonderful things for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so I think Matt's a perfect example and somebody who went through the roller coaster of emotions with the Switch. Especially leading up to it. He pre-ordered it. He wasn't excited about it, was going to cancel it, then got excited. Then as the week of, he got super excited. And was in a perfect position to be disappointed, and then that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So things like that, I think, are really, we tried to give people our real reactions on the episode that you missed, and we got lots of people who emailed and like, you guys are fucking fanboys, and you're sucking Nintendo's dick, and it's so hard to be positive about something because everyone assumes you're lying.
Right.
And that it really is a good system, and that's not fluff. It's not because I spent money on it. It's just not. Like, it is really neat. Last night I had the choice to play whatever I wanted, and I played Zelda, and I played my Switch, and oddly enough, I didn't even play it on the TV. I played it in kickstand mode with the Pro Controller 4 fucking inches away from my face. It's fantastic. Like, I can't get that close to anything else. Like, if I figure out how to make a hat that mounts it to the fucking right in front of my head, that's all I'm going to do. Like, I had it so close to me, and it was great. It was on my coffee table, and my coffee table lifts up, and it was, like, right in front of my fucking face. And it was better than having it on the TV. I still had the background noise of the TV, and I could still pause it and go do whatever I wanted. So I think, though, the success of Zelda and the success of the system, those are really the only two things to focus on, because the other games are non-existent or not good. That I think that people are really flocking to this, and I think it's going to find a pretty good foothold. But what they do in the future is going to be really important for the success of it.
Yeah, I feel like I said it when I've said this every time we've talked about it. I feel like I will get one. I don't feel like the value is there for me right now.
It all depends on the way that you want to be able to play. I really enjoy the bite-sized gaming. And I woke up this morning before the podcast and I played Zelda for 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If I think about playing Horizon for 30 minutes, my thought is I won't get anything done. It's going to take me 5 minutes to get into the game and get playing.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take me 5 minutes to figure out what the fuck I was even doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to do whatever I'm trying to do for 10 minutes, and I'm going to have to start thinking about shutting it down so I can get in here to do the podcast.
Right.
Whereas the Switch is instant on. 3 seconds in, you're playing the game. And the way Zelda's designed is it doesn't fucking matter what you were doing. You could just do something else because it's everywhere. And I don't really have a quest I'm following. I'm just fucking around. And so the idea of going to play that for 30 minutes was exciting. And, if I went a little bit over, I could even come in here and sit while I'm waiting to get on here and play, in handheld mode. And it's just, if you like that kind of bite-sized gaming, it's great. If you're the person that wants to get invested every time you sit down, you're probably not going to like it because I don't think that's its strong point.
Right. And I am more that way.
I played for 4 hours last night. But, I probably don't get over that hump if it's not for the bite-sized gaming, if it's not for the 10 minutes here and the 5 minutes here. So, it's one of those things that I think it lends itself well for the kind of person who has a little bit of gaming ADD and that you want to jump around. And I don't want to always just play my PS4, always just play my Xbox One, or ever play my Xbox One. Like, I want to be able to jump around and kind of... Sometimes I don't feel like playing this, or sometimes I don't feel like playing that. And it's perfect for those in-between moments. And it's perfect for when you also feel like giving your full attention to that experience. So... Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a good fit for you, and I don't know that it won't be a good fit for you. It's when maybe I don't see the price coming down, when there's more games and there's something that you're interested in.
And I think that's the thing. More, I need more for it.
Right.
I like Zelda. Zelda's never been a system seller for me.
I will tell you, to me, this is having a guy that's played Zelda, but obviously isn't in any way in that world, since I don't even know what the bad guy's name is. Like, it doesn't feel like Zelda to me. I mean, obviously there's Zelda characters, but it just feels like an awesome open world game.
Wow, which I'm not a huge fan of open world either. So,
anyone who has, for the 6 people that bought a Switch and didn't buy Zelda, like it's like don't buy it because don't not buy it because it's Zelda, because it's just an awesome open world game. If you don't like open world games, you're not gonna like it because it's super fucking open. Like, it is open, and then when they say, you know, games love to say, well, if you can see that, you can go to it. Like, they actually mean that in the way that you can climb anything. Like, you can go absolutely anywhere in this game on a way that you can't in other open world games. Like, I think Horizon does a good job letting you try to climb rocks and stuff, and for the most part, you can get there. But, like, you can actually, like, you can climb up a fucking flat surface in this game. Like, you can climb, you have an endurance meter, but you can go anywhere. And I never go the right way because I think it'll be quicker for me to climb up the fucking side of a mountain. And newsflash, it's never quicker to go that way. You get about halfway up and it starts raining and you fucking slide down to the ledge and have to make a fire so you can sit until the rain stops. And there's a lot going on, but it's really a different experience. And I'm not having as much trouble playing those two together as I thought I would.
Okay.
It's not as hard to play Horizon and Zelda at the same time as I thought it would. Because even though they're both open world, they're drastically different.
Good.
But you do have arrows in both of them. You have fire arrows, too.
I love arrows.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my favorite is the fucking Tripcaster. Man.
I like the Tripcaster a lot, but everything jumps over it.
See, that's why, you know what I learned to do? Set them between 2 rocks.
Oh.
One peg on one rock, one peg on top of another rock. And then you put another one low, so they hit that one, then fall into that one. Oh,
I love the Ropecaster. I tie everything down to the fucking ground and watch it struggle.
Yeah, I don't. I don't use the Ropecaster at all. But like I said, most of what I do is from far away.
So, yeah, I do a lot of close-up stuff, and I've learned you get right on it, and then you just work around it in a circle, rope-casting it every, 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah?
So pretty soon, and if you can aim for the legs, really aim for the legs, but pretty soon when you've completed a full circle, it's tied down from every direction, and it can't move at all. It takes maybe 6 Ropecasters to do it, but it can't move. And especially if it's got some weak points, you can start, really firing on those weak points, or you can knock its canisters off, and it's totally fucking done. Then you can usually run in and critical hit it, and it's finished. If it's a little more tough, like the bellowbacks and stuff like that, you may have to rope cast it several times.
Bellowbacks?
Yeah, whatever they're called.
They're fucking nothing now.
Yeah, but they take a while to die, for me at least still.
Where do you get into the Thunderjaw and the Stormbird? Fuck those fuckers.
I'm really close to where the Stormbird's at right now. That's the big one, right?
The huge giant bird.
Yeah, I'm real close to where that's at now. I haven't seen a Thunderjaw yet, but same thing with the Sawtooths. I tie all those down. I don't fuck with them. Tie them down, hit them with 3 or 4 fire arrows, and let them burn to death. That way, if I fuck up and it does come after me, it's tied down.
Right.
I don't have to worry about it. But the mistake I see people who use the Ropecaster is they tie it down from really far away. However far away you are from when you do it is how far it can run. So you tie the other point down where you're at. So you need to remember when you're using it, you want to be close when you hit it because that's how far it can go. You put the other end in the ground. So when someone does it from, 100 feet away, it can run 100 feet the other direction too. And it just runs over there and murders people. So
right.
It's all figured out how to use it, but that game is cool in the way that you can all play it differently. Because I very rarely use the Tripcaster.
I use it all the time. I'm constantly scoping out in a circle, setting traps, setting the Tripcaster down, and then I'll just start firing away and lead them through all my traps, and fucking done.
It's a great game. So many good games out.
Yeah, no kidding.
Last story. After over a decade on sale, Sony is ending production of the PlayStation 3 in Japan. Still going to be produced in America, but it's worth noting that usually those two follow suit very close together.
Not far behind.
Right. You're going to see the PlayStation 3 continue to exist in some territories, and that just has to do with launch. So the PS3 launched in November of 2006 for us and didn't come out till 2010 in Brazil.
Yeah.
So you're talking, 4 years later. And so some of those territories that are late to get the new stuff, it's going to continue there. But I think you're probably not far away from seeing the ceasefire in America also, and kind of the end of a generation. Kind of sad.
Yeah, it's always sad when the generation ends.
I don't play my PS3. It's got fucking 97 inches of dust on it. But it's sad to me to think about like that they're just no more. It's gone. Like all that's out there is out there.
Yeah.
But
that's how extinction happens.
It is. That's why I hold on to everything. Single-handedly going to keep extinction from happening. Extinction. I'm having a tough time with that.
I see. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just got a little upset thinking about PS3's going away.
Yeah, were you tearing up?
Yeah.
Is that why you couldn't say it? Because your lip was quivering?
Yeah. Think about all the people who buy digital that don't give a shit about the future. Don't give a shit about preservation. Just thinking about all that, it gets to me.
I love digital.
Yeah, I know. It's because you hate there being any kind of physical future.
I don't need to worry about it. That's what you're there for.
The network goes down, you're just totally fucked.
You're the archivist. I'm not.
I'll take that role.
Yeah,
I'll fly that flag.
That's good. I've applied it to you.
I'll fly that flag. I do think that that's important when it comes to video games, and I know a lot of people think collector's editions are a waste of money, and they are. But you get one shot at getting that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still games I regret it for. Like, I super regret not getting the Order collector's edition.
The Order.
It fucking bothers me like every day. Did you get it?
No. I didn't get it when it was on sale. I went back and it was gone.
Yeah, we talked about it, yeah. I want like the super one, though, with like the fucking vial of the...
Oh, yeah.
The black water. Whatever it's called. That stuff is so cool. Like, that game is cool. It's a good game. Should have got the collector's edition. Talked myself out of it. I did get it for Horizon though, which I'm happy I did. It's got a neat little statue of Aloy.
Yeah, I'm kind of mad that I didn't. I kind of wish I would have, but I didn't realize I was going to like this game this much.
I think it's Aloy standing. I've only looked at it once. I think it's Aloy standing on a dead Watcher.
I really like Aloy.
Yeah, she's a very cool character.
She's very.
And we've talked about this a lot in the past, and I just want to mention it really quick. Guerrilla does a fantastic job of just making a strong character. Like, you don't care that she's female, you don't care that she's a ginger, like, you don't care about any of those things.
Soulless.
Yeah, you don't. You don't care that she's not sunburning when she clearly would be sunburning. Like, you don't care about all those things because she's just such a good fucking character.
She's a strong character.
She's so strong. Like, and the way that she talks to other people who are clearly scared. And she's like, I'll do it.
Or people are trying to like give her shit, and she's like, you're fuck you, dude.
Right.
That's not what she says, but that's like
right
how she comes across. Like, you're a piece of shit anyway. What the fuck do you know?
Yeah, when you go to the hunting trial, and that guy's like, you'll never make it. And she's like, yeah, right, I've killed things 10 times worse than you've ever seen. Like, just her attitude in that, like,
right.
You just tell me what to do and shut up.
Right.
Like, I won't be second guessed. I won't be talked down to.
What do I need to do?
Right. Yeah. And I think, Tomb Raider does a good job of it, but there's still something kind of... On a small level, I think Lara Croft is still very attractive in the way that, like, she wears tight clothes and she's not over-sexualized, but I think it's definitely, like, it's noticeable that, hey, you're playing as a woman.
Yeah.
Whereas Aloy, like, I never even think about it. Like,
it's
such a good character.
It starts to show itself a little more later on in the game, a little further than you.
Yeah, and I'm not very far in the story.
But nothing like outrageous or just where it's just basically where other characters comment that she's attractive.
Right.
Is about the extent of it.
And I should back up a little bit. I'm not saying she's not attractive, and I'm not saying that Crystal Dynamics does a bad job with Tomb Raider, because I think they do a very good job also of a strong female lead. There's just something about, they obviously toned her down from the PS2 days where she was a triple F and, could barely walk. They've toned that down a lot. They put her in jeans. My Lara Croft was wearing a winter coat most of the time. But there is still something about her that, in the cutscene, especially when you're in the desert, she's got her tank top on and things like that, where you're like, they could probably tone it down a little more. They don't have to if that's the character, so, I'm fine with it. But I just think here I just never thought about her as anything other than a strong-ass, badass protagonist.
Yeah, just a badass person.
Yeah.
A very strong person.
Yeah,
her gender doesn't matter.
Right. She's not female, she's not male, she's just awesome. And I think...
But it's important to note that the story plays very much into the fact that she gets questioned a lot for her gender.
Right.
It's not like the whole game is just about this genderless protagonist. That's not the case. It's just that that's how us as the people controlling her feel.
Right. So I don't care.
Yeah. But
like it's
in
such
the actual
a non-issue to me that when they ask, I'm like, shut up.
Right.
She'll kick your ass.
Right.
Just
exactly.
So you know.
You know immediately. Plus, since you're playing as her, if someone will say something, I'll be like, dude, she's not into you.
Right.
And I'll be thinking, and I'm like, what am I doing?
So early on, a guy flirts with you pretty hard. And that was like my first thought is I was like, in no world do you stand a chance, you fucking creep.
I think I know who you're talking about.
You go to
in the
I think
Proving
it's
Grounds?
What is it?
Proving Grounds?
Yeah, that guy there.
Yeah,
he's like the army leader or whatever he is.
For the Asheron?
Yeah. But he tries so hard, he's like, maybe we could do something later on. You're like get a fucking life.
Yeah, that's what it's like you're listening to this conversation, you're going, dude, she's not into you.
Right. Like, she's 10 times cooler than you'll ever be in any moment.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, I think Guerrilla just does such a good job in making that game about the experience and not letting any one moment like overshadow anything, and it's very cool. I'm telling you, the biggest problem people have right now are all the good games that are out.
All the good games, no doubt.
Anything you want to add before we start shutting it down?
No, let's why don't you take us out there, fearless leader?
Be sure to follow us on social medias at @game_stitch. That follows all of us. You can follow me at Podcast Ryan. You can follow Dan at Shirtless Dan. And you can follow Matt at Goddammit Matt. Our YouTube channel is Gamestitch. We do put the podcast up there. We've got some other stuff, popping around here and there. Our back catalog playthroughs. Those are up, so make sure you check those out. Enjoy those. Obviously, that was a goal that we hit over at patreon.com with your support. And we thank each and every one of you for that. So make sure you check out those videos that we made special for you.
I do need to note that I am still working on a time to play Curse of the Black Tiger.
Life of
Black Tiger.
It'll be a curse, but yeah, Life of Black Tiger.
It will not be a curse. It's going to be amazing.
It's probably not going to be.
Amazing.
Check us out on Twitter, though, for that information. We'll make sure we post when that happens so you guys can check that video out. And join us on our Discord. Our Discord is live. We're up there. We're chatting. We do have the Patreon-only tier for our exclusive chat in there, but we do have an everyone channel to get the community in there and get chatting, and we'll be popping into there from time to time also. So any donation on Patreon will get you that level. And Discord's a really cool way basically for you to see our text messages to each other and also jump in the conversation whenever you feel like it's necessary.
And you trust me, you never know what you're going to run into.
Yeah. And as like owners of the channel, we get the option to react by putting emojis up.
Uh-huh.
And I like to use those. So it's almost worth going to see all the eggplants and stuff I'm throwing out over there because it's a lot of fun.
You do love your fucking eggplants.
I love my eggplants, and I love trying to find one that fits like what was just said. Like looking through and being like, what goes to this?
What goes with this?
Yeah, so I have a lot of fun with that, so check that out too. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to rate us on iTunes. It makes a huge difference to us. It lets other people find this podcast. It helps us show up in a search with so many video game podcasts out there. It's tough. We're in a sea of good content, and for people to find us, we just got to make sure that we're getting our name out there, and your support on rating us goes a long way. I feel like we got a better chance because we've got game in our name, and then with the Switch coming out and Stitch being so close to that, if there's some typos.
Well, it's only like 2 letters.
Right, so you've got GameStop, you've got GameSpot, you've got the Switch. Like, there's a chance that we're just going to accidentally, some people are going to show up because they get close to those, and it's like, I don't know, was this what you're looking for? They've talked about the Switch. You mean these guys?
Yeah. Google's a godsend.
Yeah, we've got a real chance with people with fat fingers. So we look forward to having all those bastards here.
All you new folks, we're looking forward to you people who can't spell.
You who play football. All right, this has been episode 218 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. And good night.
Good night.